This question is for everybody in the UK. Will Keir Starmer be gone within 3 months, please? I mean, question mark. Steer Karma, I call him.
Yeah, totally. Oh yeah. There's a whole bunch of things being worked on that'll take him down. Sorry. Take him down.
No big fancy introduction today. It's the Mark Out Show Adventure of the Cosmic Suit. This is, what's your name again?
It's written down there, Mark. You could just read it.
Tarot Bajanana. Tarot Bajanana. That's a weird name. What do you do?
I get that a lot, actually.
What do you do for a living? Oh.
I get things delivered to my house, usually in the middle of shows.
Well, everybody showed. I thought it was just me that happened to.
No, you're not the only one.
Are there any deliveries today?
Actually, there is a possibility. Yeah, it's a possibility.
Of course there is. Of course there is. So how are you? You've just finished that big event with John Claude and everybody. How was that?
Yeah. It was awesomely fun, but exhausting. We're all still recovering.
And what was it? Do you want to tell anybody that didn't know about it?
It was 3-day conference, close to 300 people in attendance, and then the some truthers. Like, we had some great keynote speakers. It was. We did some live shows in front of the audience.
What was I? What was my invitation to Canada?
Jean-Claude chose them. I'll blame it on him.
That's right. I don't hold it against him. Oh dear. I'm too funny. That's the problem.
You're too funny, and you might have stole everybody's thunder. We wouldn't want that.
That is the big issue with me. Yeah. Well, we know how tiring those are because we did that truth. Well, you did 3 dates on the truth tour, and of course, I did all of them. Yeah, that was fun. But we've got it's good to get out and about, but it is exhausting. Well, you know about our healing center. Did I tell you about it?
You did. Yeah.
Well, we're maybe you'll have a look at this. Let me see if I can find it. It's we got. It's just huge. It's taken over my life. I'll just show you it because you can't remember. I think I sent you the website. I'll just pull it up for the viewers. So yeah, we started this 2 years ago. Live 5D Health. And it's just packed with stuff. Look at that ugly bastard there. Hyperbaric oxygen, red light, loads of stuff. But we've got these retreats starting soon, which I did tell you about beforehand.
Yep.
Which is interesting because now we're running retreats. And I thought I'd ask you at the beginning of the show to be cheeky. Do you want to run the cards on the healing center?
Absolutely.
What I've got to ask a specific question, haven't I?
Get specific. Yeah.
Can't think of one now. I mean, we're already healing people. We have been now for 2 years, helping them to heal. So I tell you what, there's a lot of we've had 750 franchise inquiries. Did I tell you that?
No, you did not. Wow.
750. This is what I mean. That's why I don't do many shows anymore. But will they? Oh, sorry. I've let you get deliveries. I get phone calls from children asking for money. Yeah, retreat center. Should people come on retreats at Live 5D? There's a good question.
Should people come on physical retreats that already live 5D?
Yeah, well, we're running these retreats where people come, because the thing is with the treatments that we've got, they're cumulative. And people come, if they do one treatment, it's not, but if you come and do hyperbaric oxygen, red light, PEMF, and other things every day for like 3 days, 5 days, 10 days. It's like it's a total reset on a cellular level.
Yeah.
So, you know, should people watching this have a look at it and think about coming? That sounds like a lead. It is a leading question because it's a tarot show. We're going to get to other questions soon. I just want to I'm just nabbing her.
Okay, we were hoping these would be good cards because Mark knows I'm going to read them even if they were bad cards. These are good cards.
Oh, good.
Okay. This was the first one. So this is the thing itself. So that's a victory. So you must have set things up properly. You must have had some really good sort of a foundation laid down for these, right? Because we don't have a confusion card. We don't have a dysfunctional card. We have a victory. So it's definitely going to be a victory. And then this is, what is it a victory for? Self-care, self-love.
Wow.
Empress. It could also reset people. And I don't know if you had this in mind, but
yeah, that's what I've actually put in the marketing as it's a complete reset for your body.
But I also feel like it'll help people reset on their value system and how to attract abundance. Now, I don't know how that is, but I feel like maybe all the self-care and self-love, because it often leads to be allowing yourself to really be nurtured here. The earth is not supposed to be the slave planet it's been created into, right? We're supposed to actually enjoy ourselves here. And we have to let go of like that mentality that the deep state really drilled in our head, like that not have. We're the not haves. And the haves are only that 1%, and they're all bad. Okay, so to have and to want better things for yourself, that's a bad thing. We just need to learn how to, once we do get the flow of the abundance coming, how do you share that and use it properly with integrity, not hoard it and use it in the way it's been used, right? So the haves are going to be the have-nots, and we're flipping it around, and your centers somehow prepare people for the new world of more having and self-love, and maybe enjoying the earth plane a little more because it's going to get cleaned up, right? Look at all her nature around her. So we need our water cleaned up. We need them stop spraying. They need all of the things that I believe are actually getting done in the background. And we need to continue to do those, taking down these old systems. I feel like your healing centers could actually help people prepare for what's coming.
Well, that is amazing. That is amazing because that's the download I got to open them in the first place. It was like, it was for that. It was to be a bridge. Did I tell you that? We built it on a place called Bridge Street, and there's a bridge out the window.
Oh,
hilarious.
No, that's good though.
Well, that's amazing. I don't need to edit that out. That's good. I'll keep that. So I did, thank you for that. That's very, very interesting. Really nice. I did put a thing on Twitter today saying Janine's coming on the show because I like to ask questions that other people want the answers to. And I think if they're current, I did them today. That means that it's less likely you've just done a show on the same questions. So
yep,
I'll just pull those up and we'll have a little look. I like to name check some people as well. So top of the list is Digby Furno, who's my mate in Portugal, who edits these videos. He's a UFO experience, so he's a really nice guy. But he's asking this question: is the EU on the verge of collapse, and what role Trump's tariffs playing? Do I need to put that as two questions? Is the EU on the verge of collapse first?
Maybe is it on the verge of collapse because of
Trump's
or would it have anything to do with Trump's tariffs? Because I don't know, the part about is the EU on the verge of collapse, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, all of these officialdoms are on the verge of collapse. The big card for the year, and I've several times done these year looks, and it's the tower consistently. So all systems are down that are not built on a firm foundation. Somehow by the end of this year, nothing's standing that wasn't built on a firm foundation. And my take on it from years of looking at this stuff is a lot of this has been done in the background. Yeah. And we're seeing the replay of it and the theater of it in the public eye in a way that they feel like they can sort of manage the people that aren't paying attention, their reactions.
Okay, so let's reword that. Are Trump's tariffs going to be the reason for the EU's collapse?
Okay. It's definitely collapsing. Okay, so it's in the middle of it. Like that's already coming down. And we've got the 9 of cups around your question. So it's the desire. So it feels like the whole reason he's doing the tariffs has something to do with collapsing. You asked about the EU. I don't think it's only the EU, but certainly also the EU. So I'm going to say absolutely. And it's one of the reasons he's even doing them in the first place.
Beautiful. I actually did a post about the tariffs this morning, I think, where I said, the funny thing about the people who are coming out and saying these tariffs are terrible are actually showing themselves to be pro-tax, pro-corruption, and anti-human. And it's what I love about all of these tactics is it's just constantly flushing out. It's like throwing a bowl of washing up liquid water onto the lawn and waiting for the worms to come up.
Yep.
Said I've not done that for many years, and I know that's animal cruelty, but I used to fish in a canal 50 years ago. Leave me alone. Right, Abby Wynn, you know Abby. She's left a question.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Great to see you again, Janine. In Ireland, have I got this on the screen? Let me just check. No, I haven't. This is a professional show. There you go. In Ireland, we've had weeks of sunshine and hardly any rain or chemtrails, similar to when the lockdowns were announced. Is this a 5-year natural cycle, or are we just allowed to have good weather? And if it's the latter, why? Abby, you know that Janine only does single questions. Is this weather? I don't know how to reword that in a way that you'll like it. Are we just allowed to have good weather? Okay, so is the good weather controlled at the moment?
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, let's try that.
Interesting. That's a balance card. And this card is I feel like it is controlled because it looks like there's some conscientiousness about you need to be balanced because people get too depressed and dreary. She can be really depressed. And this is a balance and karmic justice card. I just want to know who's controlling that. Is that universal control where the universe just won't just doesn't want to see you guys in this shape, or is this actually white hat or the bad guys kind of? Who's doing that? Let's have a look. Let's further pull on that. No, that feels like man-made. So what it's saying is it is controlled, and it's like I feel like that's White Hat Alliance thinking you guys needed a break and need to balance out because things were getting too dreary. But I know that a lot of, or at least I believe, I don't know, but I believe from a lot of readings, a lot of the chemtrail stuff they've been doing lately has actually been White Hat Alliance controlled to get people talking about it, looking at it, yelling about it, and saying no to it. It's like it's forcing humans to stand up for themselves. And I feel like they thought the UK needed a break, or you guys, where Abby's coming from there, you guys needed a break.
The weather's been good in England as well.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that is that every day I look up and go, oh, beautiful sky. And then I see the chemtrails. I go, dirty fucking chemtrails. And then I go, oh no, Janine says they're good. And then somebody hears me and goes, well, are they good? And I get into this whole bloody conversation. But yeah, the chemtrails. It's hard to explain to people about the fact that the movie is playing out and but it's working.
Yeah,
it is working. It's do you get any weird shit in where you are because you're out of the mainland? Is there any...
I saw a chemtrail about 3 days ago. It was the first in a really long time. What appeared to be a chemtrail, a big fat one. I could see the plane it was coming out of. Yeah, so I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, I was very little here on Haida Gwaii. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say where you lived.
Oh, that's all right. I tell everybody I live here.
I know you do. Brilliant. Right, next one. Caro. We live in a caravan in the hills near Mount Mee in Queensland. We see lights in the sky every clear night, over 100 one night. They seem to be on a mission. Are they drones or off-worlders?
Good question.
Nice Australian question for you.
That looks like a battle. So sorry, that card. That's a battle coming out in the open. The Four of Wands is a gateway, so it looks like the humanity's winning the battle. And then the page. I feel like they're watching a bit of both, maybe. I feel like we got a mix. Fives are like can mix it up, and this is a fight. So I wonder what they're doing. Are they moving really fast? Are they? I feel like that person was watching a fight, especially the night where all of them were out. And this Four of Wands says it may be over soon or it's already over and the good guys won. So that was like them watching both of those things they mentioned, duking it out.
Yes, that does make sense to me. You'd have enjoyed it the other day. We had a live event here, and we had this great guy on who used to be a West End singer, and he got a terminal diagnosis, and but he's recovering because it was a misdiagnosis, and he's come back from health. Anyways, he was teaching people how to do breath work, and I did an introduction in this room full of people, and I stood up and I started talking about healing and why this is good and why that's good, and then I was talking about this town, and I was talking about, and then I said, and of course, you know, I've seen a dragon made of light fly over my head and a UFO over here. It was a big triangle with hieroglyphics. And there was a guy in the 3 feet away from me going like this. I went, oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't realize that not everybody here was on the same page. It was quite amusing. I bought him a pint afterwards. I think I did. If I didn't, I should have done. Next one we've got here is from... I quite like doing this, going to the list. It makes my job easier. We're going to win. Mark, you're awesome. The only criticism I have that you don't have Janine on your channel enough. Okay, solved. That one's done.
Yeah.
Rick McDonald, question. Will we see one EBS shutdown? Oh, God. Do you know, we've been asking this question for 5 years.
Yep.
Should I ask it again?
Sure. Let's have an update. Update on the EBS. Like what?
I mean, can I ask you personally? Would you enjoy the EBS?
Would I enjoy it?
You'd enjoy it, wouldn't you?
I would actually. Yeah. I would
too.
like getting offline for. Are you kidding? Yeah. I got lots of projects I could get to.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be afraid. I'd be excited about it.
I could rebuild Tom Numbers MG that he gave me. I haven't got time to do it at the moment. Okay, EBS question. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, this is like an update, like because it's been going back and forth. I've been reading and it's like, okay, they're not doing it now. Oh, they look like they're doing it. Oh, they're trying to decide if they're going to do it. This one feels like a work in progress, kind of. They're gauging how things are going, but let's have a look. So we've got, oh my goodness. Oh boy, that changes everything. Interesting how, so she comes along and changes. These two look great, which didn't make sense to the EBS question. And then she makes sense out of everything. It's so amazing. Cards are so amazing. So we've got the Empress card here and the Four of Wands. So that now I think is telling us a time frame. And the Queen of Cups right away tells us that they're really focused right now on a lot of other things. But by the end of April, between April and July, so she's July, this card's April, 4th month. We're in April. So I'm going to say by the end of April, anytime between now and July, they could do the EBS. But I feel like with her here, it's not 100%. They're still going to do it. They're going to be checking in. But right now it's looking like they're going to do it. And that's the time frame.
Oh. Well, you know, great.
Bring it on, I say. Just do it, I say.
Just get it done. I mean, I gave up thinking about it a few months ago because I got so tired.
And then I clarified it with that. So I'll just to help people out a little. Like it's so confusing. I mean, but this says there's so many things they're doing They put out all of these things, and we know they're doing a lot of things right now, trying to take down. I believe the financial system's going to have to come down, and then I think right around the same time that child, like I don't know, what can I say on this channel?
Well, let's keep it. Let's try and get this one on YouTube.
Okay. So I'll say the party substance. You guys know what I mean by that. Okay, so they need to out that what's been going on to humans, and in particular babies and children. So I feel like there's a lot of things first to happen. And then right now the timeline looks like what I just said there. So but sometime between April and July.
Well, I think the timing of that takedown of that black dark web website.
Yep.
We don't need to mention its name. 1.8 million subscribers.
Yep.
I think I've made 2 videos about this on X because it's just like, will you just get that number into your head, people? This is, what? And people are talking about it, but I don't think they comprehend just the size of that, do they?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Like, I was thrilled to have 160,000 subscribers. We're talking millions on that kind of a website.
It's just mind blowing. But it is, unfortunately, what this war is. Well, it is what this war is all about. So that's why we keep doing what we're doing. So next question is, I was going to ask you a question about Netanyahu there, but I'm going to go to this one first, which is Irene Ailport. Now, this question says, when do we find out about Tartaria? Do all world leaders know about it? Now, before you answer that question, I think the thing with that question is that it's loaded with an assumption that Tartaria is a real thing. Now, what's interesting about that, and are you still there? You're frozen. We have frozen. So after that little power cut, back to the question. So the question about Tartaria is loaded with an assumption that a Tartaria, as a lot of us are aware of, is a real history of the world. But I want to ask a question before that.
Okay.
And the reason I want to ask that question is because I did something on stage with Abby, actually, and a guy called Thomas Sheridan, who's a really great mind in Ireland and has been speaking out about stuff for years. And he said on stage to me, Tartaria is 100% a CIA psy-op. So I want to ask the question, is that true? Wow. First, before we go into the assumed no, it's not question.
Okay. Is Tartaria
or the idea of Tartaria, is the idea of Tartaria a psy-op?
Okay.
I mean, everything's a psy-op, but you know what I mean.
Maybe it's to get us doubting everything, hey? Moving out of troubled waters. I don't think it's a psy-op. So these cards aren't saying, yes, it's a psy-op. They're saying information comes out. I feel like it's information that we're getting clarity. So when we hear about Tartaria, I think it's true and we're getting clarity. This card here says the Knight of Wands. So I feel like it's been fought over, maybe the information. Maybe it's been hid from us. And then this 10. So I feel like they took out something really hard or difficult happened that created those buildings to be abandoned and the whole idea of Tartaria. So I would say it's a reverse of what that person said. I'd say the idea that it's a psy-op is they want you to believe that so you don't actually go looking into the truth about it.
Great. That concurs with my own feelings. So the question that Irene Ailport actually asked is, do all world leaders know about Tartaria?
Leaders. I'd say yes again. Wow, that's the card of the day there. So 6 of Wands. So to me, that's like a victory. So yes. And then we've got the Knight of Wands, again, been fought over a lot. Like a lot of things have been fought over. So the information doesn't come out. but we're now getting the clarity. So isn't that interesting? We got those 3 cards again, but we're now getting the clarity, but it's been fought. We've had to fight to get the clarity of it. So yes, they do.
That is very cool. I'm very pleased about that. Okay, next question on Twitter. I'll read this one out because it's nice. Lally, yay, 2 of my favorite people coming together again. It's been a long and agonizing 5 years, though I appreciate the war has been waging way longer. And you 2 have been a major source of hope, info, and inspiration. We'll look forward to this chat. That's nice. Will we get to meet the off-worlders? This is from Debs C. Will we get to meet the off-worlders who have been assisting the Q team?
In time, temperance card, universal timing. Okay, so that's not a no. A major arcana to a question is a yes, but in time, the temperance card. So when the time is right. Okay, and then here we'll know the truth. So that's truth and integrity about who that is, what they've been doing. Yeah, so yes. Okay,
so a personal question. Will you and me both be alive when that day comes? Risky. I love risky questions.
That is that looks like a yes.
Yes. Phew. I'm taking a lot of risks today.
I'm going to be really old anyway because I did a visualization of it and I got myself like 90s at least.
Really?
Yeah. I had really short hair.
You mean in 60 years?
Smart.
See what I did there? See what I did?
Yeah, I see what you did. Oh, boy.
Jesus. Oh, God. Okay, fair play. Right, next one. This is about Ireland. This is the cat's mother. Will the Irish people put their collective foot down and reverse what has been imposed on their country by their own government? That's the question. First part of that question.
I've been sending a lot of ravens to Ireland.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Positive energy.
They've been shitting on my car.
That's one of the hazards.
Yeah.
Okay, it's worth it though. I've been sending lots of energy there because it's just horrifying watching what's going on there.
It is.
Okay, so that's a soft yes, I call that, and possibly already happening. So it's hidden, like what you don't know is it's already happening. That's why it's so yes, but actually it's already happening. So it already began. They're just playing things out to absolutely show people who their enemy is and how they do things.
Right. Well, I'm going to ask a question to follow on from that. This is from me. Will Conor McGregor become president of Ireland?
So you get a visual of that person in your head for me, since I don't.
You don't know who it is?
No.
Jesus, where do you hide out? Conor McGregor's this MMA fighter, and he's been a world champion at that, and he's a very controversial character in Ireland. And on St. Patrick's Day, Trump invited him to the White House. So instead of having the Irish Taoiseach Prime Minister there, who was there a week earlier, they had Conor McGregor. Now, Conor McGregor, he's been in court for alleged rape and all sorts of terrible things. So he's a very divisive character here, but he's brought more attention to the immigration problem and everything else in Ireland than anybody else. So he says he's standing for president. He's putting some really good tweets out. So the question is this man going to be president?
So the Fool, which is like he's just throwing it out there and it's unpredictable, and maybe he's too unpredictable. And then we've got the Knight of Wands. I feel like he's a white hat or working for the white hats. And I got Victory. So I think he'll help a lot in changing the country around, but I don't get a solid yes on he'll actually become the prime minister. Is that what you call it, prime minister?
No, in Ireland, is the prime minister is called the Taoiseach, or the shit face, generally speaking, as they have been. I mean, it used to be embarrassing living in the UK and Canada, you know, I always imagined like the aliens coming down and say, take me to your leader. And I'd be like, oh, it's a bit embarrassing, actually. It's John Major or it's Tony Blair or it's worse in Ireland. They're just shockingly bad.
Yeah.
But then again, you've had that.
Oh, yeah.
Castro for all that new guy.
We got everybody's like it's horrifying what we're facing right now too. They're all huge weffers.
Yeah, but okay, so that's a question. We know they're weffers. For those who don't know what that means they are controlled, puppeted, owned by the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and everybody that's behind them, which is basically interdimensional reptiles.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. So the question I've got is, although they're weffers, I know the answer to this, but it's for the viewers. That are they all currently? Do you know what I want to ask? Is because I think they've all been replaced and we're watching actors, but are any of are all of them actors?
Okay, that's a good question. All of them are actors. No, some of them are real. So that card's like a half and half card. It's like a bit of this, bit of that. And that one can be considered. They're both twos. So I'd split it in half. I'd say half are and half controlled, maybe controlled, puppeted, doing the walk of shame. Some of them are the real person, but I feel like they're all capitulated. Yeah. 9. So, so not all capitulated, but 90%. So I said capitulated, then I pulled this card. So not all of them, but really a lot of them are capitulated. So you still got a few out there that actually think that the deep state's still in charge. So you got some completely in the dark, but very few. And some of them are actors, about half.
Interesting. That's the genius of it all. That's why nobody can work it out. It's brilliant. That's why we still do shows like this. Right, there's a question here. I'm going to get up on screen from Richard Keenan. He says, the Jewish faith starts with a burning bush. The 10th dynasty founders were the gold order represented by a yellow flame, also known as the feathered serpents. Are those the fallen angelics?
So they're getting that information from like biblical writings, or?
I don't know. I'm just being nice to ask the question.
Okay, so these aren't yeses and they're not direct no's either. So maybe there's some of that, but I would say a lot of what that person said isn't correct, right? They're looking at it from a perspective, so in a really big perspective. But this 9 says there's still a lot missing there somehow. And then this card. So they got part of that right and part of it's wrong. So I'm going to say no, not entirely.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, there's a couple of questions here, and I'm gonna not tell the audience stuff, but we need to educate people how to ask the questions, right?
Yeah.
You can't say when is the British government going to fall because the cards don't have dates, can you? Just explain, while I scroll down these questions, just explain to the viewers how to ask the questions in future, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, on timing ones, just say, in the next year, will we see the fall of, like, for everyone? Because a lot of this has already happened in the background, so it gets really confusing when you're doing when you're looking at the 5D chess situation, and I start sounding like a complete crazy because it's like, well, it already did happen. Okay, well, you know what I mean? So if you've got a lot of capitulated governments, the cards will say it already happened. And also you need to put a time frame on it. Because do you mean in your lifetime? Do you mean
next
what
week?
Do you mean by that? Yeah, next week. Do you want it in 10 days? Like,
well, okay, so Lee Castle has asked a question here. I'll reframe it in the way that we need it asked. So is the truth going to come out about the British Royals this year?
Yep. Okay, let's do that.
Nice and easy.
Yeah, pretty weird, all the stories about them having cancer, and then all of a sudden they're not even talking about. I thought Kate Middleton was like going through big cancer treatments, and like, were they thinking of taking her out off the scene? Like, it's just so weird, all the stories they got about these guys.
Well, they did take her off the scene, didn't they? And then they put her back in again.
Yeah, like as if kind of as if nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's so annoying to me. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. We've got the star that was secondary. First, there was this one. So they're going to be exiting them in the next 8 months. Okay, and it may coincide with something to do with off-worlders showing up.
So that's Christmas time.
We've got 3, and I said, but what will really out them? That's my party substance card. You guys know what I mean by that, right?
Mhm.
All the older viewers, like, I don't mean older literally, but who've been viewing my videos for a really long time, they're going to know what I'm talking about. Put it in the comments, because we can't really say the word, what that is. So we know that the British royals are largely involved in all the stuff that goes along with this. And every kind of nasty thing you can think of that goes along with what I call party substance. Okay. And a whole bunch of other nasty stuff too. Okay. So I feel like that'll be outed within 8. So within 8 months. That doesn't mean you'll have to wait that long. So yes, this year. So yes. And I feel like it goes along with a visitation by off-worlders. So it'll all happen at that time. I don't know why. And somehow this will be outed about them as well.
Well, that sounds marvelous. It'd be a science fiction ending to this, which would be terrific. Sorry to interrupt the show, but I'm here in my car on a beautiful sunny day in lovely Ireland. And I just wanted to say to regular viewers of my show, you'll know that over the last 5 years, I've tested probably over 1,000 different health products and modalities to try to get us through the COVID psy-op, but also to help us enhance our longevity towards health sovereignty. Now, out of all the things that I've tested, there are a number of things that I use on a daily basis. And for the last 3 years, you will never see me without one of these on the back of my neck. I can't actually, if you can see it there. It's on the back of my neck. This is a LifeWave X39 patch. Well, this is actually not a patch. This is the sleeve that it comes in. This is an X39 patch, okay? This thing, you just stick on the back of your neck. And what it does is it reflects the light coming from inside your body back inside your body. So it reflects the light coming out of you back into you, but at a frequency that achieves a certain thing. They have a large range of patches that do different things, from helping you sleep better to helping you recover from pain or from exercise pain. This one in particular, the X39, is my standard thing that I wear every day. And the reason for that is because this stimulates the production inside your body of copper peptides. And copper peptides in turn stimulate stem cells. Now, I am 56 this year, and I've got more energy than my teenage kids who I'm on the way to pick up. Why is that? Well, structured clean water is part of that. A mainly carnivore diet is part of that. I do have access to things like hyperbaric oxygen and red light therapy at our healing center at live5dhealth.com, but actually I don't use them very often because I'm a workaholic. But these patches have not left my neck since I first discovered them in 2022. And I am convinced that my eyesight is better, my teeth are stronger, my arthritis has disappeared, my hair is thicker and longer. Look, there's a ponytail here. Sex drive is better. So many things are better, and I'm convinced it's because of these. If you're not convinced by me, go to themarkatwoodshow.com and search under LifeWave or stem cells. You'll see that I've done numerous interviews with numerous people giving their testimonies about LifeWave patches from all over the world. So go and have a look at those if you're not convinced. I'm going to put some QR codes on the screen. One is for the LifeWave patches themselves, which you can go and get online immediately. They are not the cheapest thing in the world. I do think they're actually less than a cup of coffee a day if you wore one a day. But and I understand that doesn't stretch everybody's budget, but
they also represent an amazing sovereign business opportunity. You can get paid for recommending these. If you try the patches and you sign up to the other QR code, which is the business opportunity page, that will put you in touch with Cheryl. Cheryl works with me in the States, and she will talk you through the process and show you how to do it. All you've got to do is share a link and give your testimony. This is the way we bypass Google, we bypass press, national TV, mainstream media to grow this business, which is currently $1 billion business. It has grown leaps and bounds since 2020 because of the need of people like us who are awake, who want to sustain themselves and get through this time period so that we can get through to ascension in one piece. That's what it's all about. Freeze the video if you need to get onto the QR codes. Go to those links now. That's all for now. I hope you enjoy this message and you enjoy LifeWave, and I'll see you soon. Enjoy the show. Back to me in the studio.
Another question from Lee Castle is, will the jabs be banned this year? It does annoy me, but I understand why they're still doing it. It's kind of annoying that they're still pushing text messages to old women saying, come and get your jab.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And, you know, anybody who's still pushing that, they better be watching themselves, because that is not okay. It's like, you know what, you're going to be held accountable.
Oh, we're on YouTube, and I just like to say the jabs are really good. I love them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're such a comedian.
You know I'm joking.
Of course you're joking. Okay, so we've got the 4. So yeah, there's a reason why they're not. Okay. They got to play something out to the very end. We've got the Emperor. So they look like they're being kind of controlled here by White Hat Alliance. That's good news. Okay, but that doesn't mean you should go get one. Okay. That's up to you. Like, okay, you guys know what I think about it. We're on YouTube, so I'm going to keep it cool. Okay, so I would say yes, they will be, but there's again a reason why they're hanging on. Maybe another 4 months, or in the next 4, but they've got things to play out still. They got things, and they want as many people to come to this naturally. So she comes to things naturally. It's like they're trying to wake up your rebel gene. Okay, they're trying to wake up, and people like, I know several people who actually have come around to understanding that they need to look into that more deeply, and that's a good thing, because just telling people,
that doesn't work.
Never going to work. Like, people need to know and have the experience for themselves. Okay. And that it's a unique approach, but I feel like it's really necessary for people to have their own experience with it.
Yeah, I've come to that conclusion. Okay, this is a thorny subject for a lot of people on X at the moment. This is from an account called Knitting in Space. I like that name. Please ask Janine about RFK. Does he really support the mRNA vax for measles now? I shouldn't say those words on YouTube. Does he really support the blah, 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 blah? And does he believe in the measles outbreak? Okay, so the question I'm going to ask here is RFK compromised?
Okay, so I've been looking into this all week and last week too. So it's a little convoluted, so kind of you'll need to pay attention. Okay, so they're using his brand. By the way, for years, he was kind of on both sides of the fence. He's not been an angel of any kind. That's always what I get about him. But he is on board, and one of the White Hat team, like at this point, or they're using his brand. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what degree he's on board, but he's on board, and he's letting them use his brand. Okay. And they're using right now what he's doing to show you how these guys get compromised. So they're getting you to look into it. They've got this really crazy looking guy next to him all the time, or he's got his arm around him and everything. The guy turns out he's a rabbi, and he's very connected to Israel. And, I better not say any more words. And, Khazarian, so mafia kind of guy. They got that.
Mime.
What's that?
We should do this whole show in mime so we can stay not insensitive.
You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, one of those guys, and they've got him in photos with his arm around him and stuff. So you get the picture, you go looking into that guy. They want you to go looking into that guy. Who is he? Turns out he's get this dildo salesman. Nice. And a rabbi at the same time. It's fascinating. That's like, it's almost cartoon like what they got. The guy obviously looks like he's got fake facial hair on, and he's not a real person, you guys. Okay, but they get everybody looking into him. They got like the Israel flag behind. They got photo ops with him. So they're trying to get you to put the dots together that a lot of these people, they start out good and then they get compromised. And it's trying to show you who usually is compromising them, what group. Okay. And so they've got Candace Owen, who's controlled, but white hat controlled. But I mean, they got her out there outing a bunch of stuff. Okay. And she feels like a loose cannon. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff she goes on about, but she's told what to say. And they've got her like pointing these things out. So she helps you put the dots together. So it's all white hat laid out, and they're using him and his brand to show you how these guys get compromised.
Yeah. What was really interesting for me about that is that hours after he tweeted or whatever, the Children's Defense League, I can't remember, but he set up this Children's Defense organization. They sent out an email saying the complete opposite of what he said.
Yeah.
It's a game. It's a game.
It's totally good. And they're making it so obvious, like, because it's such an about turn that politicians do it all the time. And then you got to wonder, why do they do it? Why do they do it? Because somebody's got something over them. And then there was a big scandal that broke before that before this one's cooking up with RFK also. That was of him sexting with somebody who was obviously like a honeypot, sent into the camp, get close to him. Okay. So like as if really he was the guy he's presenting to be, he would actually fall for that at this point, as if the whole team wouldn't be like looking out for that. Okay. So they did, that was an obvious one, and everybody there was acting, and they were all just doing this thing. So they're psy-oping to get people to understand, how do they do this? How does this happen?
It's an education.
It's an education, but we got to know so we don't let this happen again to us.
Yeah. It was also interesting. He got on the plane with Trump after the election, eating McDonald's.
Right. Yeah. So there's a bunch of things you're supposed to notice. And I also get that they're trying to help people understand you don't have any gurus. None of these people are your heroes. Okay. They've all they're humans.
Yeah.
Some of them maybe not, but but they're all potential. Like, we can't like hang our hat on any one of these people, including Trump. He's a brand right now. They're using all of these people's brands, and we can be thankful that they're doing the work they're doing, but not like always revert back to your own intuitive knowing, and hold everybody accountable if they're doing crimes against humanity. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. Nobody's your guru. I'm not your guru. Mark's not your guru. We're not gurus.
What?
You know? Right? You have to be your own check-in and spiritually accountable, and you're accountable, not your government. Like, we can't hang our hat. We've been handing all our power over to all of these officialdoms that have completely, like messed with us. And they've absolutely, here, I'll just get Canadian on you, hosed us. Okay, every one of them. And none of these officialdoms, and that includes organized religion at top levels of any kind of healthcare. It's all completely not for your benefit, only for a tiny percent benefit. All of it was compromised years ago. So we got to know that, and you got to come back to checking in with yourself, your intuition, and don't hang your hat on. Nobody's going to save you. Nobody's your guru. We're going to figure this out for ourselves.
Only when people are at the precipice will they find the will to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. This leads me to my favorite question out of all of these, which is Rick McDonnell. Are the aliens really here to steal our bananas? And can Mr. Trumpy do a deal with them?
It's a good one.
I like to see a bit of piss taken. That's good.
Okay, let's have a look.
Are you going to do the card?
Yeah, I want to do that one. Hang on. What does the universe say about that? It's not a no. See the 6? 6 says, something like that. Something like that, right? Some of them are, and some of them are for the good of humanity. So I think we've got a 60-40 kind of thing. We've got some bad ones around that might want to steal our bananas and some good ones around. Okay. And it might even be the woo community who actually, we can protect ourselves from it, because that's the woo community card.
From bananas.
So our own intuitive knowing and how to handle things intuitively is going to protect our bananas from the bad ones.
Did a great deal on bananas. Great bananas. Beautiful bananas.
Oh my God. Brilliant. Got to keep it chipper. Right. Right. Another one here. Let's get it on screen so everybody can see it. Monique Bidegain. Sorry if I've mispronounced that, Monique. I'm starting to believe there won't be any major announcements regarding the COVID scam, nor all that satanist. Will there eventually be any revelations made on MSM or the separation between normies and those that wait become even wider? So to phrase that for the cards, will there be any revelations about what's really been going on in the last 5 years on the mainstream media within the next year?
I'm going to say yes. Okay, so the Fool, so it'll come in an unexpected way, right out of the blue. That's the Fool. And then, so the information comes. So this is seeing the big picture. The big picture gets outed in a really unexpected way. It could even be what Cliff High's been calling, what did he call it? When the mainstream media does their huge mistake. Okay, so I feel like they'll play it out because it's all theater. And I think they're already utilized by White Hat Alliance, the mainstream media, believe it or not. And I feel like they'll play it out as if it just comes out and they out themselves and out the whole thing. And it'll look like an accident.
Won't that be nice?
That will
Can't
be.
wait. I'm going to pull one on a timing around that for the next year. Like what can we look at there? Okay, she's August.
Okay. It's going to be a hot summer. Right. No, here's a question about Northern Ireland. Did you ever go to Northern Ireland when you were here?
I don't think I did.
It's beautiful. It's
No,
amazing.
I don't think I did. No, I didn't.
This is from Ginger. And it says they've ramped up the 5G in the north of Ireland and it's being used to drive the winds usually on the coast. The 5G in the winds. Really? So the 5G is being used to drive the winds on the coast. It's 4G, but when the winds come, 5G activates on the phone. Well, this is interesting. And when the wind dies down back to 4G, could Janine look into it? How do I phrase that? I do know people that are terrified of the 5G, and I've been saying, don't worry about it. So the question is, should people be worried about 5G? Yes or no?
I already pulled them kind of around that idea. So I feel like it's run by White Hat Alliance. Okay, so they took it over a long time ago. They took it over and they changed whatever mechanism. But they want you. That's a gossip and innuendo. They might have some or left some, just like those booby-trapped batches of, you know what, that people put in their arms. They left some of those. I believe that they stopped most of it, left some of it, so people would understand what was being done. I feel like they also maybe left some of these things operating, but for the most part, it's gossip and innuendo. They want you to believe it's that because you need to know what the plan was. But those in the know, personally, when I check in on it, it doesn't look like it's the things they're saying it is.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time, and I've been saying if 5G was on, you'd be dead anyway. What are you talking about? But
Yeah,
I understand there are a lot of incidences, including myself. This is a personal question, but I think a lot of people will relate to it. So when I get physically close to certain people, sometimes I feel this kind of weird tingly thing all over my face. And it's like there was little money spiders all over my beard. Is that spike proteins? The next question is it nanobots? The next question is, do I need to see a psychiatrist?
I get it more emotional. So I get you're you're really open emotionally when that happens, and vulnerable, and you're picking up on maybe somebody's energy. So you're picking up on an emotional energy, and that maybe it's making you feel somehow vulnerable. Yeah. So energy wands are energy. You're picking up on somebody's energy, but it doesn't look like it's health related per se. It's more their literally energy field. I mean, there's a lot of people walking around, hybrid people walking around, non-humans walking around with meats. Like we met one when we were on that tour, the 3 days I was on there, we met one of those walking around. Where was that again? That weird town? Roswell.
Roswell, yeah.
Sure enough, Roswell. Yeah. Anyway, like there's a lot of people walking around. When you start really looking, you're probably picking up on something energetic with them.
Yeah, because I feel like yesterday, my hand started vibrating such a high frequency, it started disappearing. And I was like, there's something strange going on here.
Wow.
I was driving down the street the other day, and there was a guy walking on the path about 200 yards down the road. He went out of focus, but everything else was in focus. And that has happened to me before over 15 years. But it's just these little telltale signs that something
glitches. Yeah. Honestly, I sometimes think there's a whole lot of hologram stuff going on. When I was working with the medicine man in the Haida Gwaii, he did this intuitive read on me. And that's when my son showed up. Like I was 36 at the time, and he told me I was having a boy in my 40s, long story short. And sure enough, I did. And somehow that boy who became my son, who's now 21, showed up in a hologram as a 7-year-old. And I feel like that's available. People can conjure that up spiritually. I feel like some of us, what we're looking at could be holograms. And we think it's people.
That really makes sense, because there was a guy that worked for me years ago, 15 years ago. I came into the office one day and he literally was out of focus. Everything else was in focus. And I was going, Craig, he was going, yeah. I said, you're out of focus. You blurred. It was like a cutout.
Wow.
It was nuts. And that kind of thing's happening more. But this picking up energy thing, I'm certainly getting more psychic, 100%. I feel people, I feel it instantly.
Yeah.
And then, which is cool. I think that's part of the ascension, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Yeah. A couple more questions. There's RKHK says, will Albo be re-elected on May the 3rd as our next Australian PM? There's a lot of Australians on this one.
Who's the person they're wondering about?
A guy called Albo, Prime Minister. Will he be re-elected in May as Prime Minister of Australia? I've not really been keeping up with Australian politics.
Soft yes. So it looks like maybe for a short while and part of the movie, and it'll end, though he won't like last very long. The ending of that theater's coming. So I believe he will for a short while, like could be 3 weeks, weeks or months.
Okay.
So I feel like that's going to be a theater, that whole election.
This question is for everybody in the UK. will Keir Starmer be gone within 3 months, please? I mean, question mark. Steer Karma, I call him.
Yeah, totally. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's a whole bunch of things being worked on that'll take him down. Sorry. Take him down. Yeah. Stuff coming up that'll from his past that's really ugly. So it's already brewing. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, like all the information and just how out there that guy is. Like it has something to do with his sexual preferences is
No,
going to take him out, and it's not going to be pretty.
You do surprise me.
I'll say it like that.
Okay. So I'm going to ask a question about it. I've got a feeling I asked you this on the last show, but I'm going to ask it again if I didn't. You know, now then, you know him. I don't want to say his name. Now then, jingle jangle, jewelry. No, England's biggest.
Oh yeah. Got it.
Yeah. Was he actually Keir Starmer's father? Wild theory I have.
Two major arcanas. We got a yes. Okay, so we've got shocking revelation and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so I would say maybe they did it non-naturally though.
Yeah,
so
that's what I think. Because
right.
I know how they work, and I get that idea.
DNA and yeah. Yeah, they created him.
Yeah, well, he's the one who let him off as the CPS. Well, the original one. Is this the original Steer Karma? Hope it's a no.
No.
Good.
This guy's an actor. He's a double.
He's good. He's very good. He's a white hat.
He's a white hat double. So he's a fake.
He's doing an amazing job.
Yeah, he's trying to out what a scumbag the original guy is.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd agree that he's doing a great job.
He is. I nearly did a video the other day saying Steer Karma's a white hat and he's helping everybody. And I thought I can't be bothered with the flack because he's winding so many people up at the moment. I mean, the hard thing is that, you know, towns are being destroyed.
I know.
You know, communities are being destroyed. Yeah. These murders that are happening, this is probably the last question because we're near the hour. Like the other day, illegal immigrants in Germany pushed a woman and a baby in a pram off a train. The other day in England, broad daylight, 2 illegal immigrants went into the front window of a house in the north of England and shot a guy dead through the living room window. Never been seen before. Are all of these murders real? All these events, they're not all murders, but they're attacks.
Yep.
They are real.
First, yep. And we've got the devil. So that is literally what's happening because of the agendas. So that was already put in place by like that whole agenda the last 20 years with what they've been doing, moving people into these neighborhoods. Like it's not good for any of those. Like I know I'm singing to the choir here, but it's not good for the people they're moving in there. Okay, because it's hugely unbalanced. So it's not against per se them. They're using those people and the neighborhoods. It was all this really bad agenda by these guys, you know, the dark hats, we'll call them. Okay, and so yes, those are unintended consequences of the war we're in. So yes, those are real.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, Janine. Thanks for the power cut in the middle. I enjoyed a short spell outside in the garden while you were fumbling around.
Perfect. You should. It was like my roommate had to run and find a cord and.
Well, I wish we'd seen that. You could have videoed that would have been good to put in. That's better than getting a theory.
Oh yeah.
No, she just disappeared like that. Gone. But anyway, you're back. Amazing to see you. Great to see you doing well, and lots of love to everybody around the Haida Gwaii. Love to come there one day. We'll do. But in the meantime, let's do more regular shows.
Awesome. And right now we're in the process of making it lots of spaces available if you do decide to come.
Fantastic. Thanks, Janine.
All right.
Bless you.
Hawa. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.